Howdy.
Hi. Okay. Are we here?
How many more birthdays you have coming up on Sundays?
What? That's it. It's at least till till after Sukkot.
Well,
I know.
next week you'd have a chazaka, it'd be a problem.
Yeah, right. Okay, let's share the screen here. Okay, Shah Marav Yaakov Achover ben Marav Nitzim Osher Mimdinas Kiruan. The
I'm
base.
not seeing anything.
Am I not seeing
Oh,
it?
there it is. Okay.
Okay.
Now I see.
Okay, so
Sorry.
Shomar Rav Yaakov Chaver ben Mar Rav Nitzim Osher Midas Kiruan. Based on Gadol Shal Adonenu Rabbeinu Sherira Rosh Yeshivas Gaon Yaakov. Based on Gadol Shal Adonenu Hi Based which you saw there the last part of the last letter. Based Yeshivas Gaon Yaakov. Zuar Shela. They asked this question. Yeshua Kach. Shushaltem is beperusha the Gaon. That what you asked. We have a parish in the following. Kol Rabbi Bavel v'Chol Rabbi Meretz Yisrael. Anytime it says Rav, it's like from Bavel. Anytime it says Rabbi, it's from Eretz Yisrael. My time on Mixas Anoya Mari Bishmam Greda is a large question. Why does some Tanaim appear with their name? Gon Shimon Atzadik, Antinos Isocho, Yossi ben Yehuzer, Yossi ben Yochanan, Rav. Oh, that's not really his name. His name was Abba, but Ushmuel Abaye v'Rava. Mitzasam Hashem Rabbi. Gon Rabbi Akiva, Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Shimon. Mitzasam Hashem Mar. Gon Mar Ukva, Mayanuka. Mitzasam Hashem Rav. Gon Rav Huna, Rav Yehuda. Mitzasam Hashem Rabban. Gon Rabbi Gamliel, Rabbi Yochanan and Zakai. Very good question. Nusach HaTshuva. Vade Moshe Shamat. Of course, it's like you heard. Ki Rebbe Michachme Eretz Yisrael. Rebbe is connotes a Chacham Eretz Yisrael Smuchin. Sham b'Sanhedrin Shalem who had smicha with their Sanhedrin. I like. It's interesting. It's way Sanhedrin Shalahem. It seems like a Babylonian statement. Their Sanhedrin in Eretz Yisrael. Yeah, they gave smicha over there, right? Okay. I don't know. It's like say, don't hold us in lower esteem because we just called Rav here in Chutz Loretz. That was their Sanhedrin over there that they gave their smicha. That was their thing that they did. Yeah, I don't know if that's what he's trying to connote, but it comes across a little bit like that, right? Uh,
Okay.
uh, Darmili and Smichas Kanim, he's saying to Smichas Kanim, the Samchin that they gave Smicha to them, because Rabbi. So gave them permission to judge the Niknosos. V'Rab Mechachmei Bavel Hasmuchin by Shiva Shul. V'Rab Zachar Bavel Hasmuchin by Shiva Shalom. It's almost like saying, okay, they have their Sanhedrin, we have our yeshivas. The same. It's the same level. It's just that they have this advantage that they can be done the Niknosos. Okay, I don't know. It's like kind of like the way it comes across to me that paragraph. I don't know if he says anything here at the bottom. Um, says V'nira ki l'chavet Eretz Yisrael scheme which have fresh ben and this by Yeshivas Eretz Yisrael and this by Yeshivas Bavel. So it's like I guess like a okay, you know what? We're really the same level as you guys, but we're going to give you a cover. We're going to say that in order to draw a distinction, below Shneim Shav Shem B'Chavdam Eretz Yisrael Nalo Bavel. Okay, Nisach Bon Nalo Sama Bavel Ki Rabbi have a Nechban Mi Rav. Rav Sheli. Of a Rav Latzmo of Emutam Marusol. Come on, Afresh Yosef. I don't know if he's making that up or that's something which comes later from the letter. It sounds like something he's making up. He's saying that Rabbi is Rav Shali and Rav is, not our Rav. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Well, I don't know. We're talking about Rebbe and Rabbi.
Yeah, could be,
If
but
I say
really,
Shalom Alecha Rabbi so and so, it's different than if I say Shalom Alecha Rebbe.
it could be. But I'm not sure this is the difference. The
Okay.
But that's what he's saying. Okay, but in any event, so the cover was to connote the difference was this difference between the Yud and not the Yud. At Doris Rishonim Bashu Gedolim Mode, the first generations are very great. The Daber Bum, they have to speak about them. Loba Rabban, Veloba Rebbe, Veloba Rav. Lo chachmei Bavel, lo chachmei Eretz Yisrael. They didn't need any of that. Shei Hillel ola beBavel. Says Hillel came of Bavel, lo ne'emar Rabbanis b'shmo. They didn't say Rabbanis because they didn't need to have the titular honor because their honor was intrinsic. They were considered like Nevi'im, Shamu Chagei Hanavi, right? V'lo ola Ezra mi Bavel. Ezra also quote, and Ezra's called by his name. Although Ezra's not really a Navi, but I guess he was at the time Nevi'im. But that's the so. Ravin, oh son, we don't give the interesting Ravin it's a pun. Ravin means, of course, we're not giving them the name Rabbi, but Ravin is the lusha of like gaiva, of
Okay.
I don't know if holiness is the right term, but because they're not being holy themselves, we don't. I don't know. We don't give them this false covet, so to speak, right? Ravin, oh son, we don't give false covet together with mentioning their names. The only time this begins from the Nisim. Gamliel Zaken, Ram Shimon ben No, Shnera Livnei Chuban Abaye Sheni was killed before Abaye Sheni. Yochim ben Zakai Kulam Nisim. But Rebbe Yisra b'Smuchim also Shah. Also Rebbe, that title started with Smuchim from that time. In other words, from later, after the period of the Zugos, or later in the period of Zugos. Rabbi Tzadok, Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov. I don't know. Some of the Zugos we find also they were called Rabbi in a later period. But this, later on, it started with Rabbi Tzadok, Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov, Pashadavar, Mitamida Rabbi Yochanan Zakai Ulalon. And it spread from Tamida Rabbi Yochanan Zakai on. Son of Kol, everybody knows that there's a statement, Gadol mi Rav Rebbe, greater than Rav is Rebbe. Gadol mi Rebbe Rabban, greater than Rebbe is Rabban. And Gadol mi Rabban, and greater than Rabban is Shmo, is calling by his name without any description. What does it say here? The Rabbi Tzadok Harishon was in front of Yochanan ben Zakkai, Elizabeth Yaakov. Harishon Chai B'Sof Tkufa is by Sheni B'Achar Churban. Yeah, okay. So fine. I'm not sure he's adding here anything. Oh, yeah, he has saying Lashitasa before. Called me Rav Rebbe. Again, I think this is his shot, not the Shira going. Ki Rebbe Perusho Rav Shali. Some will tell us his authority is incumbent upon me. Basi, Chadri, Shuchani, V'Chayotzibo. It's possessive. Of a Rav Perusho Rav Latzmo, Beimro, some will tell us his authority is not incumbent upon me. That's what he says next one. Go to Rebbe Rabban, Ki Rebbe Perusho Rav Shali. Basi, Chadri, V'Chayotzibo. Of a Rabban Perusho Rav Shalonu. Moshe Loshan Rami Daton, Perusho Das Shalonu. Benon, Ben Shalonu. Beisan, Baishan, Chetzibo. So Rabban is greater than Rebbe. So again, going with his description, Rav, Rebbe, Rabban, Rav, just Rabbi, Rabbi, my Rabbi, Rabbi, our Rabban, our Rabbi. Kodem Rabban Shemo, Rabban have a Torah Mugbal. It's a limited description. Klomar Rav Shalonu. Mashal Yeshin Shisha Ain't a Rabban. Okay, this is again his drasha, right? He's our rabbi. Implication being but he's not other people's rabbis. Avo Shmo Ein Bo Shum Hagbala. There's no limitation. Mashal Yechilu Shum Toar. Ki Ugadol Mikol Tar Efshari, because he's greater than any description. All right, listen. What you say is not bad. It could be it's true. No.
Yeah.
So yeah. I'll give him that. Nobody's called Rabban chutz min Nasim. Obviously, first some says with the Sefta Beloshin Hazeh Misheshlo Tamidim. Some is Tamidim, Tamidav, Tamidin. Kain also Rebbe. So it's an interesting description. Not like he's saying that somebody. This Tosefta says somebody who has Tamidim and Tamidim is called Rebbe. So there's obviously four distinction between Rebbe and Rab between Eretz Yisrael and Bavel, because it's a Tosefta, right? The Tosefta is earlier. So then it's called the Rebbe if he has Talmidim and Tamidim. The Shtapchu Tamidav, if his Tamidim are enhanced, whatever that means. Kohen also Tal Rabban, they call him Rabban. The Shtapchu Elu ve'elu, if he's enhanced over this, Kohen also B'Shmo. Okay, it was a very strange statement. Shtapchu Tamidav Nasu G'dalim B'Torah V'yesh Talmidim the Tamideim, because so Rebbe. Shuvin Korean as Rabban Rebbe Rabban Shleo Rav Talmidim Shavim. So he's saying that it's in order to maintain this. Tosefes indicate it's in order to maintain gradations. That if you have talmidim, they're called Rebbe. If your talmidim are enhanced, am I getting this right? Uh, no, he said
No,
we
he's
should.
talking about not just Chicago students, but those students have a name for themselves,
Right.
right? So it's
Yes.
one thing. I've got students. I got students. If my students are going out and they've got names for themselves and they've got students, and they're being called Rabbi, so I need to be called Rabban because I've already got.
Yeah, but
Isn't
then he
that
says it's reverts afterwards. The shtapchu elu ve'elu korin also b'shmo. In other words, if you have
no? If my second generation of students, they're already big names also,
right,
then they drop all the titles for me,
right.
and
So
my students move up to Rabban.
right. So right, so it's you start off with your name because Mishayeshel Talmidim, it's just is called by his name. Then the Talmid of Talmidim, then you go up, they're called Kerebi. Then you stop with Talmid so they're called Rebbe. So you're called so Rabban. Then you stop with Elveo, then you have Rabban and Rabbans. Your first generation Rabbans and second generation Rabbans, they call you by your name. So that sounds like you. The Talmidim will call Rabban even though they're not Nasim because it sounds like there are many people who are called Rabban, which goes against what Bashir just said. So it's Ava Bichain, even though there's hypothetically it's like that. Lo Matzan Rabban Ela B'Nasim. You only find Rabban used by Nasim, not but this. So this Tosefta is perhaps a suggestion, but was never carried out in practice. Okay,
Okay.
so Gamliel, Rabbi Shimon, Rabbi Yochanan, and Zakkai, they're the ones who call Rabban. Rabbeinu Kodesh Abishik Rabbi Yehuda Nasi. Even though it's called Yehuda Nasi, it should be called Rabban Yehuda Nasi, right? Lo Namar B'Lashon say Rabban. It didn't say Lashon Rabban. El Rabbeinu. Kunashimo. Right? He's called Rabbeinu. Rabbi is called Rabbi Nasi is called Rabbeinu as his own unique title. And Rebbe, and also we know that Rebbe Stam in the wherever it appears is refers to Rabbi HaNasi. For some reason they didn't call him Rabban, they named this other titles. Rabban, he says, Hainu Rabbeinu. Rabban Lashon Arami, Rabbeinu Lashon HaKodesh. Came into Rebbe, again, this is his drasha here. It's cute. Rebbe Kpimo Shlo Rebbe Lashon Arami. He was a big Zionist Rebbe. He didn't speak in
Okay.
Aramaic. But Lashon HaKodesh. He spoke Lashon HaKodesh. How do we know he spoke Lashon HaKodesh so much?
You spoke in Yiddish.
Well, yeah. Achafilim Shars is based on Yod Lashon HaKodesh Buria. Because there are many obscure words, which the Gemara says that the Talmidim of Rebbe learned from the Shvachos in Rebbe's household. So they knew even obscure Hebrew words. So how are the Shvachos, the base Rebbe know even obscure Hebrew words, which the Talmidim didn't know? Evidently, because Lashon Kodesh was very, very well and even extensively used in Rebbe's house, which is an interesting theory. Therefore, they didn't give him Rabban, which would be an Aramaic title. Rabbeinu, Havri. Okay, cute.
Nice theory too. I like it.
Yes, yeah. V'yesh v'tanoish kohen Rav b'mkom yiduin. There's certain even tanoim were called Rav in rare places. Going Rav Chama Amar b'Shabbos, Rav Abba Amar, Tzarshi Amar b'Adot Chil b'Sod b'Brachos, Rav Abba Amar Shalti Sumchos b'Ksubos. It's interesting. He says Abba b'Kav Tanoim b'Chom Kom Dikrin Rabbi, and Dikrin Rabbi Kom Kom Mish Kom Tzidun b'Shas, Shen Dikrin Tanoim b'Torah Rav, and perhaps they didn't have actually those few places, and they're not Mishnayos, right? These are Rices, evidently. That perhaps these few did not have real smicha. That's why they're called Rav. Avamar achas mishnei drachim. Mar can happen one of two ways. Oh, shezei ikar shmo. Sometimes they gave people the name Mar. Going Mar bar Amemar. Mar bar Avashi. That was their name, which is weird, but okay. That weird name back then. Oh, Misha Zechelik Mishor is part of his name. Go Mar Kshisha. Mar Yanka b'nei Rav Chisda, which is interesting because it sounds like they gave him a double name. Okay. But Semet Shemos. Shabishnu Mar go Mar Kshisha Mar Yanka. Okay, it's very rare, and it's questionable if it ever appears in Shas that there's a Tana or Mora with a double name. And Yerushalmi, it seems to appear once or twice, but in the Bavli, almost not at all. And the question is whether it's a typo where it does. But he's saying that there were people where they gave him double names, and one part of the name was Mar. Okay, so there you have it. Mar Shisha Marianka. Derek Shnia, another way he got the name, third title Mar is Rosh Golios. Rosh Golios Bavel, but also Vanesidim Amutarim and Seals of Beis David. I don't know what that means by that. The Nesim are going to be able to explain when Mashiach comes. They're going to be Nesim. Should base David even the Seals Abishal Ismailios Nesim before. Okay, I guess people who are worthy of being Reish Galusa, but they weren't Reish Galusa. It's not talking about Eretz Yisrael, it's talking about a Bavel. So it doesn't mean the same Eretz Yisrael. So it could go Mar Ukva, Mar Yuchna, Mar Yehuda, Mar Zutra. Yesh man, Shemachrin Esmar Achar Shmosem. Sometimes it comes after the name. Going Huna Mar, Yehuda Mar Bar, Mori Mar, Amay Mar. Interesting. I never thought of that. Amay Mar is made up really of Ami and Mar. Right?
Okay.
El Rabbeinu Shmuel Shetamidab Amru Mar Shmuel. There's an exception. Rabbeinu Shmuel the Amora, his Talmidim called him Mar Shmuel, even though he was not obviously suitable for the Nesius. It was not supposed to be. It was just an Amora. Okay. Well, he based off his current son Rabna, and some people based off it. Maybe because they were not just. Because they were more rabbinic than they were administrative. Doesn't say anything, reason why here in the bottom. But he says, Beis Davish, Rabna. Rabna Nechemia. Rabna Ukva. B'nei Bar say the Rab. I mean, Adbei Rav Chisda, Rabna Ukva, Darash. Rav Chisda took Rabna Ukva to Darash. So it's not clear. I'm surmising that it means the rabbinic figures in the house of the Reish Galusa sometimes were called Ravna. Okay.
That sounds like.
What?
That is what it sounds like.
Yes. Ava Rav Shekosafta. Oh, but he put a sure points at the mistake. Rav Shekosafta, Kubi Krum saying that you wrote Rav is called by his name. That's not true. Lo Rav Shmuel, Abba Shmuel. His name was Abba. Pushkam goes to the Talmud. Come Shmuel le the Abba. I don't know Abba. The Abba didn't know. Sorry. Savar Abba. Etc. I'm reading. Seki Solik Asi Bahani Amalei Rabbi Yochanan Man makes Sedra Ba'Abava. When Asi Bahani came up to so Rabbi Yochanan asked him who's the head of the Brace Medicine Bavel. I'm like Abba Richa, Abba the Tall. I'm like Abba Richa. Can you say you're calling Abba Richa, Abba the Tall? Sounds like you're not giving enough respect there. Now here I remember Kadhavi Asim Nashvase Shuran when we're sitting. I remember when we were sitting 17 rows. According to Rab, behind Rab. The Rav coming to Rebbe. Rav was sitting in the front row in front of Rebbe. The Nafkin's cooking the nur. And there came up bolts of fire. He put the Rav, pulling the Rebbe from the mouth of Rav to the mouth of Rebbe, pulling the Rebbe and pulling the Rav, and the mouth of Rebbe to the mouth of Rav. And I didn't know what they were saying. Abba, Richa Korisle? Chutzpah. I was so bad they came to do Reisha the Amorah Liyakre since. So it's honorific for Rab, but Shmuel, since head of the Amoraim, in terms of his esteem, Shumku the Kul Shami Lo Karoi Rab, and Shamoshim become Rab, as people who heard of him didn't come Rab. Let's see here. Shmuel Bekruim Mishmosayim Hook. He's among the people who are called by their names. Moshe Marta, looking at the Torah covered cloud. For David Amelch Nistaber said David Amelch and the voice shall lo yikre Rabbi Shmuel Rebbe and B'Shmuel Yenikra the Shmuel D'Chsiv Shmuel B'Karei Shemo. Interesting. I don't remember as the Gemara actually used that pasuk because it says that Shmuel said, "I saw that I'm never going to get smicha in in the stars," but I don't remember that actually this is considered a nevuah in Shmuel B'Karei Shemo, that Shmuel would be called by his name and not Rabbi. Interesting. Like David and Melchisiva other Rishon Ra Kos. Okay, it's not Pashup Shan Paskur, of course. Talking about Shmuel Hanavi. Came to Shemorei Dar Rishon Amorei Bavel. Who v'Chamorei Shabachrav Tamid Avim. He was the first generation of Amorei Bavel. All the Amorei Bavel came after him. Liakrei Leman Kvodo. Kerb Shmuel. I mean, they'll go to Rabban Shmuel. So they call him Shmuel not as a Pchisus HaKavod, but to give him more covet. All of them is Talmidim. Therefore, he was called Shmuel. Now, of course, he's not called Rebbe. Abaye came to have a rishon tamrei liakrei. Anybody was shown Shulokuru Rabbi Rav. V'lo time chasik Rebbe, and on the other hand, it wasn't called Rebbe because he didn't get true smicha from married so. Hilkach Rav Amachai Shmei Hachi. Rav would call his name this way. Ushmuel Mechane Aryoch Ushkod. Shmuel is called Aryoch and Shkod. The Talmud calls him that. Word's missing here. It says Rav would call him by his name, and Shmuel is called by the Talmud.
Rav HaMachanile, Rav was. Oh, okay, never mind.
Rav Mechanile the Shmei Hachi. He will call him by his. I don't know. Maybe Rav Mechanile Shmei Hachi just could mean that they gave him this. They gave him this kinui of Rav as his honorific. Shmuel Mechane Aryoch Ushkod, and Shmuel they gave him an honorific of Aryoch, which was like a lion, Shkod, and the diligent one. Those are these are appellations given in the Gemara. But neither they didn't give him a kinui of Rabbanus, and I guess to distinguish him from Rav, because Rav was held to be superior. So Rav was the rabbi, like Rabbi Soloveitchik in America was called by his Talmud the Rav, right? And and Shmuel was called either by his name or by a different appellation. But distinguishing him from Rav, they didn't call him Rav, and they didn't call him Rav Shmuel. They called him Shmuel or York or Shkod.
Now Rav Tano Polig, but did Rav actually have smicha?
No.
So neither of them.
No, neither of them had smicha. Rav, the famous Gemara Dafei is about when Rav went down to Bavel. Rebbe said, Yori, Yodin, Yodin. He gave him that special smicha, which was not the full smicha. So that was our smicha. Yori, Yodin, Yodin comes from the smicha given to Rav when he went down to Bavel. Let's see what he says here. Last time I was like a Rebbe Klomar being Tom Bishlam of Bavel. Came and shall call Tamida, Blachenki Kiblu Biasakru Bishmo. Also covered Shri Shani. Shani Kram Bishmo, Kamo Hel Visham Chetzibah. אבל בארץ ישראל שאין לו כל תלמידיו, ואדרבה, הוא היה תלמידם של חכמי ארצו, מה לא קרוא בתור כבוד? Why did they call him with a Torah of kavod? The Ashkelon Shabbatam Lishami, Nami lo call Rabbi Shmuel, or Shmuel B'Shmo. Why, okay, I don't know if that's what he's coming to answer, but why are they calling Rabbi Shmuel so? Tashum there so, lo nitzmach Shmuel. Kach le minogam, mishlo nitzmach, ain't called so Rabbi, el B'Shmo keno so. So I have a Mechayle Tamuda Lishmei Hachi Rav, Ushmuel Chane Tamuda Aryo Kedisa B'Shabbos, Gimel and Shkol, like it says in Ksubas, Mem Gimel. Okay, you want to continue or you want to stop here for today? Because that's a new thing now.
We can do one more.
But Abaye Rav Shekosafta. Why are they called by their names, right? They're not, they're later generations. And Abaye Nachmeni Shmo. His name is Nachmeni. Farshka Meduchte Bigmara. That was called in Subbay's Gemara. Kira Rabban, the Bar Achui the Rabba. And Rabban, we have a Masorah that he was the nephew of Rabba, who was their Rebbe, their common Rebbe. For Tami and his Talmud as well. Came with Abba Shmo Nachmeni, Kashem Avua the Rabba. His name is Nachmeni, which is also Rabba's father's name, Rabba Bar Nachmeni. Right? Lava Karle Ko Shaita Nachmeni Nachmeni. Didn't want to call a student all the time Nachmeni Nachmeni Kashem Aviv. I never knew this before. Avahava Karle Abaye B'Loshen Arami called him Shekari Avi. He called him Abaye. He said my father, because he had the same name as his father. Okay, so that's I call him Abaye. Okay, that's cute. It's likely Abaye, and the name stuck. Abaye. Became Shemina, it was also appropriate. Became Shemina of Svagdolim. This is one of the greatest of all the Amoraim. So Kayu Rabban Hachi. So Rabba called him Abaye, as if to say, I guess it's the diminutive, like Avi would be my father. Abaye is like small father, Kleina Tata. So Abba Katan. So therefore, but the name stuck. Okay, that's what's called Abaye. The he says just Abaye is like father in Aramaic, but whatever. So same, the principle same. And as he says, when I turn Mishlam Merasim Shukalachle Shem Shukababi Alduso, that was the name he got. How was him Yachom Shabdor, my time Akura Abaye, having the Kura Torah Kavod, called Rav Nachmeni. Sami Yachom Shabdor, so the Mina Shamayim, the Mina Shamayim, Sabu Sharabi, created Abaye. But so if you Kula Mishmo, Shem Zeh, Kamina almost look down Shabadorio, it's in the great generation. Voice Kolcha Yikro Abaye, was suitable everybody should call him Abaye. The Klamar Avi. The Avu, the Torah, Chol Torah, even though, we only pass like Abaye in 6 places. We usually play passing like Rava, right? So, but nevertheless, the name stuck. So, the next paragraph, I assume, is going to explain it by Rava. It's called Rava, but probably also is honorific, like Abaye was honorific, and Rava was like a small Rav. Okay, very good stuff.
All right. Shkoch.
Okay, have a good week. Next week, Yirtzeh Hashem, we'll see, but no birthday party schedule.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
bye.